Hey BookTube! As you may notice, I don't have the typical background today. That's because my kids are all at home because of you know what, and two of them are sick. Probably not because of the virus. The clinic tells me it's probably just the flu. So I'm trying to stay positive. But they're occupying everything upstairs and noisy during the day, and I ended up just having to tape in the guest room. So bear with me. I like the Readathons this month so much that I wanted to do something similar for myself in April. I couldn't, however, find any readathons that I was interested in participating in. So I kind of made one up for myself. I made a bunch of prompts that I rolled up and put in a basket, and I drew 8 different ones. So 2 a week, which is my goal for this year, to read 2 books a week. So I would end up with at least 100 by the end of the year. That way I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway. So yeah, I drew these randomly and I ended up making things rather hard by myself. I made 70, yes, you heard me right, 70 prompts. And I'm going to choose books based off these prompts. So now it's all mixed up well. The first is books by African authors. Well, a book by an African author. An author from Africa. That was a bit of a hard choice for me. I do have a couple of books that are by African authors that I've already read them. And this is a little bit hard for me this month because the libraries are all closed. Fortunately, I was able to find an ebook that I could buy, and it's called Zoo City? Yeah, Zoo City, and it's by Lauren Bukes? I think it's Bukes. Bukes? Bukes. Let's say Bukes. And it's an interesting premise. It happens in Johannesburg, South Africa, and in the story, suddenly every criminal is gifted with magic, and they get an animal companion that they instantly love and are bonded to, and when the animal companion dies, so do they. And the main character in the book, I think her name is Lindsay or something like that, she gets a sloth. And how cute is that? I had to read it. So the next prompt is focus. Books that fall into 2 genre categories. And for that I chose Jim Butcher's the first book in the Dresden Files, Stormfront. And it's about a wizard that's also a detective, a private detective or something like that. And he's hired as a consultant by Chicago PD to solve a murder that's committed with black magic or something like that. And I love magic. Magic makes everything better. And I love crime thrillers and mysteries, so I thought this couldn't go wrong. So hopefully I will like it. Third prompt. Books with a house on the cover. And it proved a little bit difficult for me to find a book that fulfilled that requirement. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did find an arc that is called Urban Magic, and it's not urban fantasy, it's literally a book about magic. Magic with the CK in the end. So let's see if I will like it. Fourth. A book in another language than English or Icelandic. A book in an original language. Okay, that's gonna be a challenge. I guess that's gonna be Swedish or Danish, because I'm not very good at reading the other languages. Maybe Norwegian? Okay. The fourth prompt is something that I'm blaming my husband for, because it was his idea. And the only novel that we had that fulfilled that requirement was one of his, and it's called Stalker, and it's by Lars Kepler. It's a Swedish book. He lost the cover, so I'll put it up here. And it's a crime thriller. I think it's about this guy who loses his memory. He's convicted of a murder, and he's locked up in an institution. When he gets out, there's another murder, and he is a suspect, but he doesn't remember any of it. The police gets a tape or something of a murder. It's a fifth book in a series. My husband didn't have the other four. He got this as a gift, and he hasn't read the other four either, and I don't even think he has read this one. It gets great reviews, so let's hope I will not get too confused. It's 600 pages, so bear with me if I'm not able to complete this challenge. But I'll try. Thank goodness I only chose 8. Hem hem hem. Any book by a female author my kitty wanted to join me. The fifth prompt. You don't want to join me? You just wanted to meow and disturb me? Okay, that's fine. Oh, the hair! I had another arc that I had promised to read. It's by Rachel J. Bonner. It's called Strands of Faith. It's a post-apocalyptic fantasy about, I think it's a girl and a monk with special powers or something. I don't really know much more, but we'll see how I like it. Number 6. Holding the camera and reading this through the camera is harder than it looks. Books with a toy on the cover. What was I thinking? I don't know what my thought process was. Maybe subconsciously I remembered this creepy book here, and it's called Brúðan, which translates as The Doll, and it's by an Icelandic author called Yrsa Sigurdardóttir. It's about murders. Apparently a doll is fished up out of the sea, and there's something peculiar happening in an assisted living facility or something like that, and tourists are disappearing. I don't know. A little disclaimer: pretty much every book that she writes has some type of violence against children. So if you don't think you can handle that, you probably can't read any of her books. Book number 7. Books related to psychology. Okay, I'm making things hard for me this month. And I chose The Toxic Parents Survival Guide. a disclaimer, it's not due to personal reasons, as you might think. It's just because I'm interested in psychology. I do have a degree in psychology, and it's not just about, you know, how to survive toxic parents, but also how relationships with any kind of toxic people can be, even if it's just friends or co-workers, I think. And also advice for you as a parent, so you can avoid being toxic in your relationship with your child. And I think it's really interesting. I suspect that probably everyone can relate to this, because no relationship is perfect and no parent is perfect, and parents often worry that they will somehow make choices or act in a way that is damaging to their children, not because they're trying to damage them, but just because they're just imperfect like everyone, and we're just all trying to do the best that we can. Yeah. I don't really know much more. So we'll see how I like that. Hopefully it will be enlightening. Okay, so let's use that. Number 8. Book published between 2000 and 2019. And I was very happy to find out that this book was published in 2009, and it's the 3rd book in the Green Rider series by Kristen Britton. If you haven't heard me talk about these books before, I've read the first 2 books and I love them. They're kinda Lord of the Rings-esque. They're about this young woman who ends up being a messenger for the king. There's some magic involved and a threat to the kingdom. I'm not going to go into it in any more detail, but I couldn't wait. I was really happy that I could fit this book into this month's reading challenge. So that's it for today. Bye!